Oh, how you doing, sir?
Oh, hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. You got the thinking look going tonight. What's going on?
I'm between thinking and pondering. I
Uh-oh.
have the PETE&C app up
Oh
on my
yeah,
phone, and I'm looking at the sessions for next week. PETE&C is right around the corner.
it is barreling down the corner. That it is. Yeah. Okay, so checking that out. All right. If I
Yeah.
had my phone on my hand right now, I'd be looking at the weather app because we're in that time of year, February, and lots of stuff going on. Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's been yesterday was spring like. Was it yesterday? Yeah, or the day before spring like?
Yeah. 2 days.
And it was cold. It was warm. It was cold. It was warm. Then we had snow. Then we had you know craziness. But
Mm-hmm.
the Santa lights in my front yard, the little plastic Dollar Tree lights. Well, it's $1.25 tree now, but with the lights in, they're still frozen in. The stakes are down deep enough. I can't pull them out without breaking the plastic. So they're still up. But what's going on with you?
Yeah. Nothing, man. We had little Sunday night and a Monday, little freeze and rain deal. So I had to start the week off with a delay, and yeah. But then the weather kicked like in the 50s. So I got home from school. I'm in like t-shirt and shorts. My daughter's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's like 50 degrees out." Yeah, it quickly turns over to cold, but
Yeah.
no, things are going well. Rocking and rolling, and yeah, doing all right. But and it's the unique time of year. I got our driveway. I think I mentioned before. Looks like a parking lot. 5 cars in there. Got two teenagers, two teenagers at home that are driving. So, of course, now the weather has a whole new meaning when you got teens driving themselves to school, kind of a deal, and one driving herself to work. And yeah, so it becomes a interesting scenario. Usually, the wife's having to handle a lot of the duties and stuff like that, but still, it's just wears on you.
Yeah. That's with ours, we'll get the nighttime work session or musical practice, and then it's snow's coming in, so we'll come get you. I can drive. Then it's like, okay. Then I'm home. Like, here's the keys. Let's go for a ride. You could drive. It's like, the confidence
Yeah.
isn't quite there yet, which is fine. I don't mind, but
Yeah.
it's up and down, and like I explained, to her, I trust you. It's the other drivers I get nervous about, because driving as long as you've seen, I'm sure you've encountered it.
Yep.
People that don't really know how to drive and get a little careless.
Yeah, they're all over. Yep. Yeah, and even like driving home, and we have a couple fields near us. Like I've seen, like last week was like a red fox shooting across the road when you're driving. It's like, and today was like 2 raccoons shooting across. I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's just crazy. And the amount of deer that have been around, insane amount of deer. Like, it's just wild. So,
well,
yeah. Now, speaking of animals, we got an early shout out. Go Birds are ready. Oh,
I didn't think the Ravens are still in the playoffs, Brendan.
Oof. That's a hard one. That's a good one.
But,
all right. Although I was informed that I was yelled at and told our football teams are out of it, so football talk should be minimal. But anyway, go ahead.
Draft.
Yep.
But it's coyote mating season, so watch your animals, because coyotes are active and they're aggressive. So,
all right. Brendan's laughing at your Ravens joke, not the hyena conversation. And then Jordan's here. I think you got a little shout out. Said happy birthday. Yep. Fortunately, hopefully JG called in sick today. Those were his instructions, Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give you a day without pain and confusion.
True that. All right, man. Well, our teams are out of it. We got the Super Bowl coming up. We got a lot of different things rolling. We got weather rolling in. It's crazy how growing up, December used to be the wintry time, then January, and now it's February. So all sorts of stuff, happening. But we got a lot to chat about. Do you see that? Okay, go ahead, post that comment there, Dom.
Yeah, I gotta get my cursor over there. And sorry, Jordan.
Ed asked many things.
He doesn't follow directions well, but we will take care of it.
Yeah. Oh man, we'll have to have a conversation with him. But anyway, what a guy. All right, man. Well, listen, you're here. I'm here. I mean, I had a 2-hour delay. I think it's a Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
Yeah, it's the first Tuesday of the month, actually.
Well, I think it's time for
the PAECT pod.
Let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT pod, a show for educators by educators, 100% run by PAECT. My name is Eric Verno, and I have the privilege of being the president of PAECT. And with me, as always, my co-host,
Dom Salvucci. I'm the vice president of PAECT.
Excellent. Yeah. So tonight we're going to have just a conversation with the two of us. I still wore the glasses just in case, and then people popping in. And, but yeah, so I think we're going to just talk all about PETE&C. So PETE&C tips and tricks. What do you think?
I like that idea.
Yeah, there's been so many times where I've been walking the halls, popping into the rooms, and different things have happened, gotten stressed out or this or that, like a lot of scenarios occurring. So I thought it'd be good, for kind of to dip into our knowledge and share some tips and tricks. There's been a lot. We had a pre-PETE webinar that occurred with PAECT. The program team has done different things for new presenters, new attendees, first-time attendees to go over stuff. So I think it's only fit that we kind of take it home with the pod.
Yeah, it makes sense. And there's a lot going on. In fact, there were questions today on social media. People asking about not only the webinar that we had, but some other tips. PAECT on Instagram and some of the other socials, we pushed out some tips and tricks for people going to the conference, which is next week. Starts Sunday, the pre-con.
Yep. Several
pre-cons, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And as you mentioned, the weather, checking the weather. It's craziness as usual. Travel days for people, wintry mix going across the state. So those of us out here in the West, safe travels. Not that other people shouldn't have safe travels, but I think we're going to be riding with the storm going in. That's what Saturday's looking like for me for my arrival. But it's crazy, just the weather, the anticipation, trying to get stuff ready for school, trying to get stuff because we're broadcasting live from PETE&C, not one day, 2 days.
Yeah,
we're the 2 day.
Rock it out. Yeah, I tell you, the trips there because of being about 40 minutes away or so down here in York from Hershey. We used to do it at school where literally we would drive in the morning, do sessions all day, then leave, come home.
Uh-huh.
And then when getting involved with PAECT as a regional director, I would go up Sunday. We would have a Sunday night board of directors meeting for PAECT. We would do that. Then I would drive home. And a few PETE&Cs ago, pull into the gas station to get some gas to head home Sunday night. I pull out after filling, half a tank, and I do a 360 in the parking lot of the gas station.
I remember that.
Now,
because I texted you that night, like, be careful, because
my
wife and daughter were there, and they came in. They barely got back to the lodge. They went out with friends to grab something to eat, and I was like, be careful. They had a hard time just getting into the parking lot.
Yeah, so I found a hotel that was nearby, and it was the first time I ever spent the night in PETE&C, and kind of have been doing that since. And I know sometimes it's hard to find some places, but I do know some of the local places, keep a couple rooms just kind of tucked away that if they need them for those evenings. So if travel's going to get kind of crazy, just, try to reach out. But I do know the lodge and the hotel, those are all booked out and everything like that. But And on, you were mentioning social media, to jump back, the pre-PETE tips and tricks, the nuggets is kind of like what we were calling them when we were releasing them. So do a search for those on Twitter, on Twitter X, on Blue Sky, on Instagram, all the PAECT social handles, places to check it out. So that's good stuff. So yeah, number one, weather, check that weather. This year, Saturday and the Sunday, that Saturday, Sunday range, and then possibly that Tuesday, Wednesday range. So coming and going, possibly some weather kind of hitting. So Very important.
I remember one time coming home from PETE&C, the weather was clear until we went through the tunnel towards Somerset. Came out, going one side, it was nice. Come out the other, blizzard. And I remember Jim Gates and some other people, I think Rosie, Mama Keystone, was saying there were stories about they got stuck at PETE&C one time because they had a big snowstorm come in like on Wednesday and people couldn't get out. So they ended up staying an extra day.
Well,
you know, I remember hearing stories of stuff like that back in the day.
So tied with that is going to be, I'll jump into tip number 1, 511pa.com.
Yes.
Learn this through the PAECT regional directors. You could also, there's an app for your phone, but you can kind of go through where you are, just kind of check out anywhere you see. You can kind of zoom in. Let's get over here into the Hershey area. All right. And then down here. So anywhere you see this, you can click and see what the roads actually look like. So your traffic cameras over here, your any speed issues, road conditions, they'll give you that information there. This one I do appreciate, Track My Plow. So it's all the roads that they will track on that they're doing. Obviously no plows out right now. Oh, I lied. Here they are over here. They're kind of in this area, heading towards Kutztown area. But it's all the PennDOT plows that'll be followed. So it's an excellent tool. Again, I use it. Our drive to where I teach is down right here off of 83. Just on Monday when the road was kind of bad, one of my colleagues texted me and I was able to pull the traffic picture up on my phone, do a quick screen grab, text it to them and say, roads don't look great right now. Probably wait another half hour before heading in. So, but tip number 1, so 511pa.com or looking at the app to download onto your phone.
Yeah, and you could call just dial 511. You don't get the visuals, but you do get audio as to road conditions and stuff.
Yeah, Megan, good point there. On the drive home, you definitely see the new chemical tracks that are laid down. So that always lets you know that, whether you realize it or not, sometimes it's like, oh, it might be a little more severe than I originally thought. But yeah, those are already all over York area. They're laid down. Do they do that in the Western PA area there, Dom?
It depends. Depends on what's going on if it's going to rain ahead of time, because you can't pre-treat the roads if it's going to rain. It's weird because we're right on the borderline. Where I teach in Beaver County is, I think, the line of demarcation where it's going to be either rain or frozen mix. And then further north you go and further east, more frozen mix. But then south, they're just calling for rain. So it's just this weird. The weather patterns have changed. The snow's going south of us a lot. We do get a few runners off the lake, the streamers and stuff. It's been dipping down and hitting you guys more than it's been hitting us. You've had delays. We've had rain. Yeah,
kind of crazy. It really is. All right, so we got weather as a deal. So I threw out my first little nugget. All right, what do you got for us, Don? What's your first tip you want to roll with?
Okay.
Whew, conference survival kit.
Yes. Water bottle. Now I stole some of these from the pre-Pete nuggets.
Okay, all right.
But they're good. They have water around.
Yes.
The lodge, but bring your water bottle because they have little glasses and have the anti-theft device.
Yes. It. Just find us if you need an anti-theft device. We have several different versions. Yep. Love it.
And, running around the lodge, especially getting from session to session, have a big water bottle. You don't have to worry about, trying to find glasses. Take it with you. Open cups, you're at a crowd. People bump into you. You spill stuff on people. You don't make friends that way. So,
Yeah. In the hallways and all the rooms, there's going to be those water dispensers. So definitely do that. Like Dom's got that huge water bottle there. Don't necessarily fill the whole thing in one shot. If there's a line behind you, be friendly kind of a deal. But yes, water is huge. Definitely. All right. Well, here, let me jump in with one here. Pull that off the screen. So maneuvering around the room, maneuvering around the lodge. Everybody tries to get into a room early and huddle at the wall outlet, right?
Yeah.
So having a portable battery pack is huge. Now, this one's really nice. You got to hit it. It tells you how much battery that I have, right? I'm at 100. It's actually got the wireless thing to sit on top. But it's got 2 USBs to be able to plug into. You want to make sure you have these at all times. So that way, again, whether it's the Wi-Fi, whether you're not getting a great signal, that cell phone battery is draining, you can quick plug in, whether you're using an iPad, any kind of tablet, whatever you're using there, just that quick ability to be able to kind of plug in and get a little bit of juice just to tie you over. And there's different stations, at the place. Stop by the PAECT booth. We will have a little station for you to be able to plug into and charge up if you need to throughout the conference. But having extra battery packs is huge. That's my tip number 2.
Because you might not even be staying at the lodge. So you might not be back to your room till late. Moving on to my tip. It's actually the 4th because I'm going reverse.
Gotcha.
Reverse order.
All right.
Stole this from the pre-Pete Nuggets also. But with, you're on your feet all day. You're running around all day. Good walking, running shoes. Don't worry about dress shoes. Dress comfortably. Although I don't have a pair of Hey Dudes, but I wish I did. People that have them love them. But I wear good pair of running shoes. And even though I don't run anymore, I walk. But I found out walking shoes are misnamed. They're for people sitting in recliners. They don't really work when you walk. They don't help your knees out at all. But comfortable shoes, getting through up and down the steps because, you're all over the lodge. You have the ramps, you have the steps, you have escalators, but you also, you're moving a lot. So that helps.
Yep.
Getting
Good
to the
point.
bus.
Yep. Yeah. Now, the other thing, too, is with that, I'll kind of go with that as well. Something to wear comfortably when you're back at your room.
Yeah.
Right. Just to have, you take your sneakers off, whether you put in just a nice pair of slides. I have the UFOs. Love those shoes. So I have a nice pair of UFO slides. But just make sure you have something comfortable when you're back, whether you're, you're a moccasin kind of person or whatever you go with, but make sure you have that readily available. So that's big. All right. Okay. It's a high-tech conference, and I get it. We're going to talk about the gadgets, the whole deal. Little mama shout out there. But having just a good old-fashioned notebook, all right, and your pen to do it with. Now, of course, this isn't any old notebook. This is a nice, solid little rocket book, which, we're at PAECT have a little bit of an addiction to. This is a smaller one, having a bigger one, but the ability to take those notes, you can take a picture, have it digitally send. But just that ability to have that, because again, you'll be walking. Somebody will kind of give you a quick tip. You just be able to pull this out real quick as opposed to trying to get your Mac out, trying to get your Surface out, trying to get your HP, Dell, whatever the case may be, fire it up. Nice to have that. And sometimes I'd rather write on the notebook as opposed to just, having to pull out my phone and type something on there kind of a deal. I like to try to stay engaged in the moment. What are you thinking, Dom?
2 things.
Uh-oh.
First, the first computer you named in your list was MacBook. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting you going, Microsoft first, but also goes along with the power. You're sitting there in the rooms, and the rooms can't get crowded. So you're carrying. This isn't one of my tips, but I always bring a smaller bag to carry my computer. If I'm bringing an iPad, carry a smaller bag with stuff, but also throw in paper, notebook, and pen. Because if you're sitting there, do you really want to pull your laptop out, put it on your lap if you're shoulder to shoulder, pull out your notebook, or as you have with the battery pack, phone's running low or whatever's running low on power, you don't lose notes. You can sit there and write stuff down. So that's a great way to have the notebook.
Yeah. All right, hit us. Number 3 for Dom.
Number 3, snacks or breakfast food for your room. I'm a big road trip food person. They do serve coffee and hot chocolate along with muffins and Danish in the common areas, a couple in some of the hallways.
And some really good whipped cream.
And by the vendor hall. But they do have coffee pots in the rooms, and I forget what kind of pods they take. I always bring my own pods, but I'm bringing my own. I always bring my own coffee pot whenever I go.
Yep.
But breakfast can be crowded in the restaurants, and people want to get to the keynotes, and the keynotes are excellent. They want to go to different places. it gets crowded trying to get food. So I always bring something. Even like I know the regional directors are having tables set up for PACT people, come hang out, meet your regional director. So lunch is good. But, for snacks, you go back to your room in between meals. You want something. It's always good to throw. They don't have microwaves in the rooms. That's the one thing I remember. They don't have microwaves. They have those the safe. They have coffee pots and they have refrigerators. But bring something for a snack, tide you over till you get a chance to get lunch, because it does get crowded at times in the restaurants and places. So this gives you, something to snack on, so you're not waiting in line and you get to sessions.
Yep. All right.
With
that too, kind of like just piggybacking that, so like a 3B for you. Again, because we talk about the water bottles, the hydration, and I know it's tough. A lot of the yapping, a lot of the talking, a lot of the movement. You're going to be hitting different levels than you maybe do during the year. And I just have those moments of just hitting that dehydration if I don't have enough water in me. And even though I have it, and the other thing that's important is to make sure your backpack, you have a spot where you can have the water bottle hanging with you at all times. But you might want to grab, right, like the liquid IV or the different drops. This is a drip drop dehydration relief fast, or a hydration release fast. But yeah, liquid IV, whatever the case may be. So that kind of goes with your snack tip there. All right. So my next one's going to be the bag of dongles and cables and whatchamacallits and thingamabobs, and just making sure all scenarios, right? Just not only just for you, but even to help other people out, whether it's, let me pull this cable from over here. I always hunt these up on the floor. I always look for a company that has USB to multiple different versions, so I can use that to plug in whatever I need. You got, just the different things that you might need as far as just for power, for using. And then if you're presenting, just to make sure you have your dongle, whether it be USB-C to HDMI, or if you have a multi-port, like we're going to need when we're doing our pod live from the floor show. But having a bag devoted just to that, and then having those parts, that's my next tip.
That's a great idea, because, best laid plans still go astray sometimes. So having all the cords, I have a pack. I actually carry 2 packs. Carry one in my backpack for my computer, and then I have a pack that goes in my suitcase for back at the room. And I don't know if that is my next one. Yes. Not so much for in the sessions. Back in the day, the old CFF days, those old Lenovo computers did not have a good battery life. And I don't even think the Macs did back then. So everyone was constantly plugged in. And I remember bringing power strips to the you ask people, can I sit there? And that seat's taken. I have a power strip. And people would push other people out of the way so I could sit and share a power strip. But the rooms at the lodge is a great place to stay. There's a lot going on there. But it's not for a tech conference. You have your computers, you have your personal devices, you have your phones. If you have anything else hooked up, there's not a whole lot of plugs in the room. So bringing a power strip and some extension cords so you can charge your stuff when you're back at your room at night.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good to have those. So I always bring 2. Like you have the one to carry with you. I always bring one for the room whenever I travel, so I can get, Apple Watch, phone, whatever else.
Yeah.
Juiced up and ready to go.
Excellent. All right. So let's talk about bags. So I have, you have your school bag, right? And that's loaded with all the garbage. Take a separate bag. Strip out. You don't need all that stuff you need for school. I want this to be slimmed down. I want it to be set up that I have my device in here, or 2 devices, maybe that notebook, that backup, a spot here to put your stuff in, right? And then, your spot where you can put your bottle. But slim it down. Less is more. You're going to be carrying this thing all day long. And with it, I highly suggest getting I don't know, what do they call them? What are the clips?
Carabiner.
Carabiner.
Yeah.
Right. But having a clip here to be able to attach, because also going with my tip here is my next tip. So it's 2-in-1, a bag for you to carry around that's nice and light, streamlined. And then, just for the sake of people we love that are near and dear to us, a tchotchke bag, but as other people may say, a swag bag. Now, you're not going to need to bring a bag for that. But tip when you go to the expo hall, you find when you walk in, eyeball a bag. And you're going to walk in, it's just going to be like a nylon bag, just a real cheap bag. You want to grab that and denote that as your swag bag, your tchotchke bag. You're going to use your caliper, your carabiner, whatever you want to call it. You're going to connect, and this is going to be attached as you're walking around. It's right there with you as you're talking. Oh, that looks great. Boom, you grab it, throw it in your bag. Oh, that looks great. Yep. I'm not loading up this bag. I'm loading up that other bag. So then when I go back, I could dump that other bag out, empty it, and now I'm ready for day number 2 or hour number 2 or whatever the case may be. There you go. That's my double tip.
I want to say great minds think alike, but I don't know if people would agree that it was great minds. But I was thinking the same thing. Moving on to there we go. Okay, so back in your room. Most people don't have their own room. And even like whenever I used to travel there with my family, I'm hyped up from running around doing stuff. Wife and daughter are sleeping. Can't blast music to calm down. Can't turn the lights on to read a book because you're waking everybody else up. If you're traveling with people from school, whether you room with them at numerous times at other conferences or not, Kindle and earbuds. Sit there and read at night, unwind. You have some downtime. Put your music in your ears. Listen, calm down. Not blasting everyone else unless you're like me that even turns the earbuds up real loud so people hear it and annoys people unintentionally. Because you're going to have downtime. You're going to go back to the room, but I don't know with other people, but I know with me, after a long day, even though I'm tired, you're still kind of have the adrenaline rush and you're still kind of pumped up. It takes a while to get ready to go to bed and calm down so you can sleep well.
Yep.
But that's not all. Do you have more to go?
I do. Go ahead. You got another one? Go ahead. Hit it.
Go ahead. You can go.
I was going to say I'm going to cheat on this one because, I was being so nice with the MacBook. So, and I know Brendan commented about, his iPad is his notebook, things like that. So this is your tech geeky, a good note-taking tool. Now for me, I believe the Swiss Army knife, I've got the purple back here, my OneNote Avengers cape. So I'm a big Microsoft OneNote fan. So I've got it on my phone, on all my devices, whether it be the Surface tablet or my Surface Studio. So once I'm writing, everything's syncing. But what I really like about it is, when I go and set up and I could hit and I can even record. And as you're typing, as you're inking, it's going through and it's recording the audio. But this dovetails into my point B. So not only is it good to have that good note-taking tool that's going to sync everywhere, but the knowledge that the PETE&C board does a great job of recording many sessions. And if you feel like you missed something or you lost something, going back to the room and checking through the website, through the app, and pulling it up and being able to, you have so many days to be able to watch it. Now, it may not be live immediately that day. Sometimes some of the sessions they do a pretty good job of that, but you actually go back and they call it repeat. And with your session, your conference registration, you get access to that. So that ability to go back is pretty important. All right. What do you got, Tom?
Well, my Amazon alert went off. Sometime Wednesday, which is tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., intermittent snow. So the forecast is changing while we're on this podcast. I'm excited. Live weather updates.
I want more weather updates. I want more weather this week than I do want it next week. I don't want it while I'm not home. Yep.
Like I said, I'm bringing extra clothes just in case, because both my travel days, I mentioned that hopefully my daughter doesn't hear this because she'll get mad at me because I'm missing some of her stuff this weekend to go out to PETE&C. I'm like, and I've done this in the past. I've gone out a night early because Saturday is my travel day, but they're calling for weather and it's going to go across the state while I'm supposed to go across the state. I've gone out early because one time I did drive from Ohio. I had to go to Cleveland for a conference for my wife. That 5 to 6 hour trek over 8 because we traveled with a blizzard from Cleveland, Ohio, PA with a couple stops to get refills and stuff like that. So I have gone up the night before just because of the weather, and stayed because I'll spend a little bit of money to be safe. So
sure, yep, yeah, I hear you on that, Megan.
Yeah, but I do have special
bonus,
and you covered this: the vendor hall tchotchkes, great classroom prizes. So I am giving away some of my secrets because I like going around and I use them for review games and such with the students. And I actually thought of another one here, but super special bonus idea.
Look at this guy.
Stop by the PAECT booth. We have drawings for prizes. We have mini sessions going on, the mini keys. There's membership info. Check your membership with PAECT. And we have some stuff for you at the booth.
That's it. All right.
But
I'd like to go back to your previous slide. All right, so let's do vendor tchotchkes. Let's talk about this.
Yes.
Number one, when you go in, the vendors, they're good with giving you whatever. If you're like, listen, I don't make too many decisions in my office, but that looks really cool. Is that free? Can I have that? Yeah, take it and walk. They don't want you wasting their time, and you don't want to waste their time. Don't be afraid to do that. But if you teach on a team, take a little survey. What do you really like? Oh, sticky notes are your thing? Oh, notepads are your thing? Oh, you like really good pens? Oh, you like, and then make sure you get some of those. So when you go back, I always have the Thursday when I go back to school, I always go with my bag and say, all right, it's goodie bag day. Here we go. You get to pick out, or if you have certain ones, you get to pick a couple things out. I know this teacher likes notebooks. This teacher likes pens. I have stuff set up for them. And then, of course, my family does raid that as well. Don't get me wrong. But then the rest of it becomes, part of that deal. I have a drawer full of all sorts of stress toys, my little Amazon delivery truck, whatever the case may be. And then we'll play silent ball. Kids will be able to get that and use those to throw around the room because I could throw a ball. That's cool. But throwing an Amazon van, that's a whole other level. And they really love that. So yeah, you get a lot of those products you can do. Now, the next one, the PAECT booth. Speaking of the things that we could win, Dom, in fact, this awesome Vivacity bag, which, says live vivaciously. There's actually going to be one of these with some surprises inside as part of our drawing and raffles at our booth from our friends over at Vivacity. So we are actually going to have one of these for you to be able to purchase of your own. So that's awesome. You brought that up.
Raffle off, not purchase, raffle off.
Sorry, raffle off. Yep, you are right.
Chance to win. Then, going back to the stress balls, I forget if it was a PETE&C or another conference I was at. I had one that was in the shape of an old Android cell phone. And I had a student who, I just realized I have a typo on my slide. Stoppy by.
Yeah.
But she lost her phone and it was bothering her. So she was a nervous person to begin with. So I pulled out the stress ball. I said, I need this back when you find your phone. And it was the shape of a phone. And she was there and it calmed her down, kidding around. And then I sent her off to my buddy's room and I let him know what was going on. He hollered at her for having her phone out. And she's like, it's not a phone. It's a stress ball. He's like, oh yeah, you're just playing games. And she's like, no, Mr. Sal said I could take this.
Dom, you are on record as providing the first emotional support stress ball. There you go. That was a good one. That's a good one.
Phone stress ball. But yeah, it was unique. And then this isn't the end though. I have one more thing. I told my students, Fiends.
Yes.
Chocolate World's 10 minutes down the road.
Mm-hmm.
It is, even though it's before Valentine's Day, Hershey's has candy sales all the time at Chocolate World.
Yep.
I buy they'll have the still fresh, but the Hershey Kisses that are wrapped for Christmas, they're getting rid of them dirt cheap. I take it back to school for the kids. You're playing games. We're working on something. Here's a snack. Here's a treat. And I was half joking with my students. Okay, here's the deal. I said, if you make me stress eat chocolate, I'm going to eat the stash of candy I have for your class. And I will eat it in front of you, and you won't have any. I said, so it's like a reward candy, candy in a stick thing.
That's funny.
Behave, we'll give you candy. Don't behave, I'm going to eat your candy in front of you. So, but it's on sale all the time. So it's something, bring stuff back. Kids bring stuff back for the family, as you said, for your coworkers, because you're a couple of days they're helping out with your class, helping and stuff. So it's nice to bring stuff back. And not to mention the ideas, that's a given. The ideas you bring back to your district, share them out, because there's a ton of great ideas going on at that conference. It's great to relax and recharge, come up with new ideas, but I always come back and there's things that I want to try right away and things that take time to implement and ease into. But, it's a great conference for ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. So just your quick overview, right? We go in. So Sunday we've got KTI pre-con. They got an ed camp that you can attend if you're not at the pre-con, or, you want to go there. Then they have the tailgate party, and they're going to be showing the big game. So there'll be free food. So a little tip is there's always times in the vendor hall, times throughout the conference where there will be food and drink. There'll be an early morning one. There'll be an afternoon one, like, your early evening. So, there's times where I never bought a lunch. I never bought a dinner, because I would make sure I'm kind of combing through the expo hall to be able to kind of hit those times to have your different things. So just kind of keep your eye out for that. So Sunday, all that's going on. Monday is PAECT day. So PAECT members, we've put it out on our socials. We've kind of emailed it out. We're wearing black for any kind of black or anything with PAECT on it. Feel free to break that out. We have our PAECT meet and greet in the evening. Just kind of come as you are. We're going to talk about that. And then there's going to be just time to socialize, do stuff. We got a live band's going to be happening Monday night. We've got cornhole tournaments going to be happening. If you're interested in being a part of that, look at Cornholio. Information's been put out there. Look up on the app. You can sign up. There's a just for fun bracket. There's a competitive bracket, and they're going to kind of pair partners up and kind of go. So that's all going to be happening. And then Tuesday is our infamous purple KTI day. So we'll be doing KTI day on Tuesday. Wear your purple pride. And then what we do ask, so for all of you listening, please share with your friends, all of those who are connected with KTI. We will be doing I call it the Purple Bag Brigade. We named it a while ago. And at the time we did have some purple bags. We don't really have those now, but will be a time for those of you who know prize patrol is such a big thing at KTI. And one of the ways we do it is, going through and hitting up all the different vendors that are on the floor. Sometimes I'll go to them and say, hey, you got some really cool stuff here. I know you want, be able to hand it out, but listen, if I swing by at like 1:30, 2 o'clock, depending on the time on Tuesday, is there any chance that you really don't want to take this back with you? And the trick is the vendors don't want to carry all this stuff back. And we really experienced this when we were going through ISTEs, where we really learned this. Yeah. So we will go through and we will take whatever pens, whatever, squish balls, stress balls, whatever they have. And then we kind of take it and we kind of put it to the side, so that in the summer, those of you who've been to Summit and had a lot of things thrown at you, thrown towards you, to you, given to you, delete that from the recording, please. And but that's where it comes from, right? Those are opportunities for us to be able to kind of get some of that free swag. So that'll be happening Tuesday as well. Yeah. And then of course Wednesday, if you're there, you got the half day, an awesome keynote to send you off, and at the end of that, we have a lunch and just a special sweet treat on Wednesdays when the peanut butter pie shows up. Yes. Always a good thing.
And one thing, the PAECT meet and greet is a ticketed event. Stop by the PAECT booth. We may have extra tickets. We will have some. So check it out there, because it is a ticketed event. You need to come in. After Sunday, you do not need to have your badge to attend things, I believe, correct? For the pre-con and for...
Correct. That's a good question. Not for the pre-con. Possibly for the ed camp and the tailgate and all that you would need it, but the
tailgate stuff, you'll need your PAECT, not PAECT, PETE&C, lanyard, and ticket. Then same with the event, the cornhole and stuff. So wear your badge with you the whole time you're there, because you need that to be walking around the vendor hall and throughout the lodge and the hotel. Because there are events you have out at the hotel. They have the what are they called again, Eric?
I'm sorry. Hotel. Oh, the summits.
The summits. Summits are out at the hotel. Scott is saying, yes, you need your conference badge when you're there.
Yeah, always.
But then you have the regular sessions at the lodge, so you need your badge for that stuff, and then for the evening events.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then also something we're doing new this year. So if you're not interested, if you're not coming to the PAECT event, if you're not really, the live band, which is free, the cornhole tournament, which is free, if that's not really your thing, scan Eventbrite, hit up any vendors, people that you use at your school. News ELA is going to be out and about. I think ClassLink's doing something. So there's going to be different vendors that are doing things offsite. Plus, the buses are going to be running in the evening of Monday, that if you want to go into downtown Hershey, if you want to go to different places, they're going to be strategically dropping off and picking up people, taking them from the lodge hotel down to downtown Hershey and bringing back. So that'll be running in the evening as well. So you have that opportunity to head out if you want to. But if you want to go get more of a full dinner, look up some of the different organizations that companies that you're utilizing. There's no official list of who's doing what. I've just been hearing different things, and some of it you can catch, like I said, on Eventbrite. Is always a great tip when there's an event, whether it's PETE&C, whether it's PETE&C, whether it's ISTE kind of a thing, whatever the case may be. A lot of times scanning there, and some companies will just use that to be able to organize, their who's going where and getting the word out. So always good tip there.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on. Hanging out with your friends, people you meet. And PAECT is going to be running a little special Memories of Pete. We'll talk about that at our meet and greet, but we're talking reminiscing, if you will. I remember my first PETE&C. I was a tech coach, and a lot of us had met was when Twitter was still Twitter, before it was X, when, as Eric has said numerous times, you can tweet something out and in the morning get up and the feed, it's still real quick, like your responses to your feed. Twitter, it doesn't have millions of tweets going on. And all the tech coaches, we've been talking through Skype, talking through Twitter, but we didn't really get to meet everyone in person. So we all walked around, that we had name tags with our Twitter handle, and that was where we started meeting, and that's where I met a lot of my friends and mentors from PAECT. Walking around at my first PETE&C, got to meet them in person and talk to them and stuff. So we're going to have some stuff. You can check it out at the booth, check it out at the meet and greet. Memories of Pete, some little bingo cards with some idea starters to get you thinking. And we're going to try and get some video clips of people's memories from the different sessions and stuff and different PETE&Cs over the years.
Yeah. Yeah, and with that connection piece, we are huge on connect, lead, advocate, and develop. Right, our four pillars. But that connection is so huge. So the final tip to say is this: I don't care what anybody quote unquote is titled with at PAECT. Right, take all that away. We're all teachers. We're all educators. We're all in for kids, right? So you please stop us, talk with us, right? Hey, I'm so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Heard this, heard that, love the Dolphins, hate the Steelers, right? We're going to be best friends, right? All right. Whatever the case may be, but any of us come up to the booth, come have that conversation, right? When you get to the booth, just scanning and checking. Are you a free member? Are you a premium member? You got, if you go up and you do that and you check all your stuff, oh yeah, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. They're going to have a PAECT prize for you, a little award, just something to celebrate you and thank you for being a member. But just those conversations, you see Carl Hooker's going to be talking. All right. So, after his session, you want to go up and talk to him? Go talk to him, right? Yeah. He was just up on the big stage. That's all right. In the end, he's a teacher at heart, right? Have that conversation. And sometimes it's, sometimes it's weird. Sometimes it's tough. But do it, or like, oh, they're not going to remember me. Okay, well, if I go up to the person, they don't remember me. Hey, it's all good. We're still gonna have a conversation, and then eventually, sometimes the old rusty dusties. I'm speaking of Dom, not me. Will eventually then kick it over. Right? Oh yeah. But just have those conversations. Come up and talk. PACT is a big family, and and it's just that great opportunity. But I was telling somebody else, I'm looking forward to it. It's always I feel bad for the different people that don't take advantage of something like PACT because or the PETE&C conference, PACT, whether it's a monthly meetup, whether it's the big conference, it's a time to recharge. And that is the biggest thing, right? Use this opportunity, go there, learn more, ask the questions. Hey, I'm using this product, but I want to know some more. Who knows about it? Go to a session, throw the hand up, ask those questions, interact in those sessions, right? It's your conference, make it your conference. Don't sit back and just let the conference come to you, but don't be afraid, right? Step forward.
Look, we had Kevin Honeycutt on the pod. We had Coy Bowles on the pod, Dr. Seiler. They were keynotes. Kevin Honeycutt, I keep in touch with on social media. You talk with Coy Bowles on social media. They're international stars, international speakers. I met them at PETE&C and still have a relationship with them. Other keynotes that have come through, they have the sessions after the keynote. You get to sit and talk to them and talk with them. I still keep in touch with them, and I've interacted with some of them. They're an international speaker, and like, hey, they put a call out. I need someone to jump on a Zoom call, talk to my college students, or share this experience with a group of teachers. And we communicate. Don't be afraid to talk to people. It's a great network. A lot of my PLN comes from PACT, goes back to being a tech coach. And like I said, meeting at PETE&C and some of the other regional events and other events around the state. Great network, great support network, great friends. It used to be you had your online friends and you had your friends, and that world has been blurred as technology's gotten better, and they're just friends. It's great to have that, that network. Even if, they're big into cows and birds and, fish, they're still good friends.
Bear hugs, right? Bear hugs. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, man. Well, listen, look, why don't we, we're hitting the waning hours, a good bit of talk about PETE&C.
Yep.
Let's do a couple little notes about what's going on at PACT, give a little updates. And then, shortly after we finish filming tonight, we're going to start tearing down our mini studios to be able to transition over. You're at PETE&C, come down to the first floor of the basement area. In the coat closet is going to be the temporary pod studio for live sessions on Monday, and then we're going to be having several podcast sessions on Tuesday. So come to check that out. But let's do some quick updates about PACT. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right. All right, we're going to start off here with our calendar. All right, looking through, we've got, we're kicking in, and obviously our pre-con event that's going on. Passionate about Pete. We're going to be talking about post PETE&C virtual share. This is an awesome event. I believe South Central, keeping it going. We started this many years ago. Just a time to share and share out what you learn. And the other cool thing is, my district didn't let me go. I can't get over to Pete. Well, this is a great place for you to be able to go and check out and talk to and hear from people that were there, what were the buzzwords, what were the things going on, as well as trying to follow those socials. But if you're not at Pete, you're teaching during the day. It's tough to get a hold of all of those. But that's what's going on here.
Even better, get one of your administrators to sit in on that with you. That way they see what goes on at these conferences, because a lot of administrators don't know. Not knocking administrators, but if they don't get out and they don't hear about these things, or they don't get to experience these things, they're a little hesitant to send people, but they see what goes on. They hear some of the ideas, see the networking. It's an opportunity for you to possibly go in the future.
Correct. And then even though this is the 1st of March, but just to put the word out there now, North Central and South Central regions are going to be at the Hershey Bears game. So they got premium members. It's $10 for ticket. Free members, it's $16. Tickets will be in section 202. So you got to register before February 24th, but a game where they're going to kind of bring two of the regions together to kind of check out the Hershey Bears. And I believe that it's kind of let's see, against the Scranton Penguins. So then down the road, the goal would be to go see Hershey play at Scranton. So we got a game going. If you are into hockey and into hanging out with some cool PACT people, that's going to be going on.
Yeah, that's a Saturday. So that's not a hard drive for really most of the regions. Maybe Northeast and Northwest might be a hard drive, but that's a Saturday. Good game to go to. Trivia, they used to be called the Hershey Bars. And then And then the league said, excuse me, you're advertising your goods. You can't call them a chocolate bar. So they added an E, made it the Hershey Bears.
Interesting. Okay.
But they don't have a Reese's
that one,
Bear.
but I believe you, but we'll have to fact check.
No, because trust me, I've been to Chocolate World so many times and they have the history up.
Yeah.
I sit there getting on that free ride. Just, hey, let's read this.
Listen, it's my oldest she'll be turning 21 this year. So I think she was just a little baby when we started doing that right around Valentine's Day. So, in the ballpark of 2 decades, and I never saw that on the wall. Shame on me. I gotta find that one.
That's a history major in me. Yeah. You're looking at the scientific stuff about the cocoa beans and the growing and all that science. I'm looking at the history.
That's true. Yep. Different focus. That's good stuff. All right, man. Well, listen, that's a lot of PETE&C tips and tricks. Hit us up on the socials. If you have one we didn't mention, something that's your go-to, what kind of stuff are you guys doing? What do you feel like is that what helps you have a better conference? That's really, what it's about. But again, the overall goal is make it your conference. Don't sit back and just let it come to you. You gotta be actively engaged in it, whether that's in a session, whether that's in the hallways, walking around, whatever the case may be. Yeah.
And as a current presenter and as a past presenter, we encourage you to ask questions, like not interrupting and calling out and bothering people. But when they say, if you have questions, or raise your hand if you have any questions, please ask questions. I mean, they want the interaction. They want your feedback. So don't hesitate to interact with people when they ask you to. And if you see us around, please say hi.
Yeah. No, awesome stuff. All right, man. Well, listen, that makes a great show. A lot of good stuff. We've got about 53 minutes or so. So that's a very long dog walking time. I think we're hitting it pretty good. And from my boss upstairs telling me not a lot of football talk, I think we did well. We did all right. We'll bring up draft stuff down the road. I'll have to negotiate that at the dinner table with the family and make sure that's solid. So, all right, man. Well, listen, this has been our last one before live at PETE&C. So awesome to bring you tips and tricks. And always remember, PACT.
We are
the voice of EdTech
in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
All right, let's thank our sponsors.
PAECT would like to say thank you to all of our sponsors.
Venture sponsor, EduSpire, corporate council members, ClassLink, ClearTouch.
Thank you to our gold sponsors,
Howard Technology Solutions, and Teachers First.
We at PAECT truly appreciate your support. Thank you once again.